it was a journey. It was an unfolding of what it is I actually do. And over the, you see now, I think 6 years that I've been coaching, I realized that my coaching is all about not enabling the ego. So it's tough at first, very tough. And I really, really, really don't allow people to stay stuck. So my whole philosophy about the ego is that it is the master addiction. That it is so enticing and so seductive and so powerful and so capable of keeping someone stuck and not moving forward, because it has an illusion of security in the familiar and security in keeping one from changing. So it is the master addiction. And with my background, my history of overcoming addictions, I realized that you have to change everything. You have to change everything about your life to not be addicted. And people are unwilling, a lot of people, most people, and I'm hoping that this is changing, but from my experience, a lot of people are not willing to do what it takes to change, or they're not strong enough to fight, quote, the battle with the ego. And they're into quick fixes, and this is a journey. This is, with my coaching and with what I help people do, things change. Life changes. Any enabling of the ego and the old way of being is going to feed that. So life needs to change to accommodate the new way of being, which I call the connection to the authentic self. That connection is the connection to the truth of who we really are. And the truth of who we really are, in my opinion, from my experience, from my knowingness, through my own journey of letting go of addictions, is that we are divine. We are divine beings having a human experience. And our void, everything in the void, or what we're searching for, can only be accessed through that way of being, through that connection. Call it whatever you want: connection to source, connection to God, connection to a higher power, a connection to a greater purpose. But it's really about that connection, and the void is only filled in that way of being. So anything other than that is going to create more suffering and more of an illusion of, fear and striving, and someday I'll be happy. Someday, when I get this, when I achieve this, when I achieve that, if things were different. Oh, it's all part of the journey. And the authentic self is all about acceptance and creativity and joy and embracing all of it, and really making a commitment. Well, the authentic self doesn't need to make a commitment, but someone who works with me really needs to make a commitment that they're going to be a part of this journey and a part of this process. And it's just like when you go into rehab, for most people, well, maybe not, but it's no different than somebody checking themselves. If they make the decision to check themselves into rehab, they're going to be there for 30 days. A rehab facility, it's normally 30 days of abstaining from drinking, 30 days of changing your whole environment so that you break the habits of coming home and having a drink, or whatever, going to happy hour and having a drink, whatever. You get out of your environment. The unfortunate part about my job is that I'm helping people break an addiction to the ego, and they have to be in their environment. This is one of the differences between giving up an addiction to alcohol or cigarettes versus a food addiction. Alcohol, you can all or nothing it. Cigarettes, you can all or nothing it. Food, you cannot. And that's where the challenge comes in. And that's where the challenge comes in with the addiction to the ego. It's the same type of an addiction.